Hey guys, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to go over back to lifting. For most of us, we've had limited or no gym time. We want to start back into training, but there are some key rules, whether it's vacation, quarantine, whatever it may be, that I have used in the last 30 years in order for us to get better without getting injured and making constant progress. And that doesn't always mean starting back where we left off. The first big thing is that base your lifts off 70%. This is a big rule for me. So a lot of people don't know this, but after I bench pressed my first 600 pounds in 2012, I went back to the draining board after 2 weeks of not working out and recovering, and I based my lifts back off of 550 again, not my new PR of 600. Why did I do that? Well, one, I wasn't going to base it off of a peak number, and two, I hadn't trained in 14 days, and I was beat up still from the meet. So when I came back, I trained everything off 70%, and 6 to 7 months later, I benched 606 pounds, and a year later after that, I benched 611. The point is that start back a little bit lighter and build yourself back up, and you'll find in 4 or 5 weeks, you'll be back into your normal strength plus some. But if you try to think that you are let's say you're a 300-pound bencher, if you think you're going to walk back right into the gym after 6, 8, 10 weeks off, and bench 300 again or base your numbers off of that, you could cause a lot of injury, overuse, and way too far a soreness. So back it down 30% for 4 to 6 weeks and watch your numbers soar. The next big tip that I can give you is have your GPP your main focus. And what does that mean? That means if you want to be strong, you got to be in shape. Work on being in shape before you work on strength. And what that'll do is get your ligaments, tendons, bones, and all of that ready to train hard again if your focus is being in shape. So keep your reps a little higher, keep your rest periods a little shorter, and make your workouts more difficult because you're tired, not because it's heavy. The next big thing is make sure winning warm-ups are used in your training protocol. And what does that mean? Well, it means that for a lot of you guys, winning warm-ups looks as a pre-fatiguing type training methodology. But in reality, it's a potentiating methodology, meaning that 2 out of the 3 exercises you should use for the winning warm-up are based on structural or muscular weaknesses. And that is going to improve form and reduce injury and make your technique increase or get better. So the point is if your winning warm-ups are in place right when you get back into training, then your technique, your warm-up ability, and your potential for injury are all going to go down or up. Or, sorry, let me redo that one. So if you're using winning warm-ups, what it's really going to do is help you become in better shape, potentiate weak muscle groups, and make you way stronger and help with your form. So it's all a big bonus to be able to utilize this style of training, especially if you've been off the gym for a while, because it's going to put GPP, as we talked about in section B, as your main emphasis. It might hurt your core lift for 4 to 6 weeks, but we've talked about lowering down the core lift importance for 4 to 6 weeks anyway. And then finally, D. Make sure your eating habits and sleeping routine is optimal. For a lot of us, this time off, maybe we've caught up on sleep, but for a lot of us, we might have fell into poor habits of eating incorrectly, not sleeping enough, going to bed too late. At my strongest and my best, I'm always in bed around 9 or 10. One of the big things that I can give you guys is every hour of sleep before midnight is twice as recuperative as an hour after. And number 2, my eating habits have actually improved since this quarantine because I've been forced to eat at home and do everything by the book, which has not only led to an increase in muscle mass, but my strength coming back as well at 40 years old. The point is that if you're going to go back into training super hard because now the gyms are starting to open back up again, you better make sure that everything you're doing outside of the gym is perfect, or you might be way more sore and fatigued than you thought you would be. So today we went over some key points on getting back into the gym. And for some of us, our gyms are going to open up in the next 7 to 14 days, which is a huge breath of relief for all of us. But remember, try to not start back at where you thought you were or where you were before. Give yourself a little bit of a leeway of about 30%. Make sure your nutrition's correct. Make sure your sleeping is good, right? We also have to make sure that GPP or being fit is one of our main thought processes and priorities when we get back, not necessarily being able to strain super hard. And number 2, make sure that your winning warm-ups are huge in your training protocol because they fix weaknesses, they potentiate muscle groups, and enhance form. If you have any other questions on this stuff, please join the Patreon channel as we describe a lot of this in great detail, as well as the manuals on winningstrength.com.